Welcome to the virtual job fair training. I'm Karen Durkee with Corporate Gray, and the purpose of this training is to help you prepare for this Friday's virtual military-friendly job fair. And you're going to learn what to do before, during, and after the event. And there is a lot you can be doing now to prepare for the event. And that's why we hold this training a few days prior to give you some time to do the things that I'm going to show you. The training guide PDF that you received when you registered contains everything that we'll be showing you here. If you did not receive the training guide, please let me know. You can send me an email after the webinar, and I'm happy to send you that PDF. You actually register for this event on two platforms. So first, you registered for the event on Corporate Gray Online, and then you were asked to register for it on eCareer Fairs. This registering in both places makes your resume accessible to the recruiters in both places, so it's a good thing. And also, you can search jobs and research the companies using both of these platforms. And I'm going to show you how to do that on both platforms so that you really feel prepared for the event. If you haven't yet registered on the eCareer Fairs platform, I put the link in the chat box. And eCareer Fairs is the platform where the event will actually take place. So on Friday, when you go to the event, you'll be going to eCareer Fairs and logging in there. And I'll show you how to do that. So let's start with how to prepare ahead of time for the event, what to do before. These are the things you can be doing now, both on the eCareer Fairs platform and also on Corporate Gray Online. And I'll show you all of these things. The preparation that you do on Corporate Gray Online is the same as if you were coming to an in-person event. Let's first go to the eCareer Fairs platform, and I want to show you what you can do there to prepare. If you have the link to the lobby, and I've put that in the chat box, but if you don't have the link to the lobby, all you have to do is go to ecareerfairs.com, and I'll show you how you can get to the lobby. So I'm going to open up Chrome, and you can see here I've gone to, whoops, here we go. I've gone to ecareerfairs.com. Just put that in your browser, and it's going to take you to the home page. And you're going to click the job seekers link and go ahead and type in your email address and your eCareer Fairs password and click sign in as a job seeker. And now, rather than this taking you to the lobby for this Friday's event, it's going to take you to your My Events page. And that shows you all of the events that you've come to on eCareer Fairs in the past, or any events that you're signed up to attend in the future. So from your My Events page, that's where you can go to the lobby of this event here, which is this Friday's event. But before we go to that lobby, I want to show you a few things that you should do to your account to prepare. So I'm logged into my eCareer Fairs account, and if you look up here, you'll see in the right-hand corner, there's a head and shoulders silhouette or a little thumbnail of your photo if you've already uploaded your photo. If you have not uploaded your photo to your eCareer Fairs account yet, you're just going to see a head and shoulders silhouette up here. And you definitely want to go ahead then and upload your photo. The reason is it helps you make a more personal connection with the recruiters during your text conversations with them, because your conversations with each recruiter is going to start as just a text chat, and they will see your photo, you will see their photo, and it just helps you make a more personal connection with the recruiter you're text chatting. You can also, it's possible that it might be a video chat as well, and we'll talk about that. So if I didn't have a photo here, I'd want to click on this head and shoulders silhouette and click Edit Account. And it will let you edit your account information, and then you want to click on My Picture. And this is where it will let you upload your photo to your account. And you can just click here, browse to your photo image on your computer, select it, and then it will resize it for you on your account. And then you just click Finished, and it will save your photo. And from then on out, then you'll see up here, your little thumbnail photo will show up, and you know that it was successful. Now, once you have your photo uploaded, now when you have those conversations with recruiters, they'll be able to see your photo as they're talking with you. Also, while you're here, test your video as well. And make sure when you test your video, you're using the same device and browser that you plan on using during the event. And the reason you want to test your video ahead of time is because even though the conversations with recruiters on Friday will be text chats, each recruiter has the ability to change the chat to a video chat if they want. Most of them don't do that, but it's possible. Some of them do use that functionality. So you want to be prepared and test your video ahead of time. And of course, dress for success as well, just in case you are asked to enter a video chat. So again, all of this was here under the thumbnail photo, and I clicked on Edit Account, and that's how I can get to all of these account settings. Now I want to go back to that My Events page so that we can go to the lobby of the event. So if you click on this menu icon in the upper right and click on My Career Fairs, that's going to take you back to that My Events page where it landed me when I logged in. So I'm going to look for this Friday's event, and if you hover over the More icon, the 3 vertical dots, you'll see more icons here to choose from. Depending on your browser, you might see these icons below the event. You might not have to hover over this, this More icon. But these icons let you, this one lets you share the event with a friend. This one lets you see your conversation history. So after the event, it will record, it will keep all of your text conversations for you. And any of those conversations that you had with recruiters, you can access the transcripts of those after the event. And this is the icon that will let you do that. We'll talk about that a little bit more too. Here is where you can enter the event lobby, and you can do that now. You can do that today. You could do that as soon as you registered on eCareer Fairs for this event. You don't have to wait until Friday to go to the lobby. And I'm going to show you why you want to go today to really start preparing. But I also want to mention before we do that, this icon here lets you edit your registration details. So when you registered on eCareer Fairs, you uploaded a resume, or you chose a resume that was already uploaded to your eCareer Fairs account. And that's the resume that's aligned with your registration for this event, which means that's the resume that while you're text chatting with recruiters on Friday, that's the resume that the recruiter will be viewing while they're talking with you. So maybe you've updated your resume since then. You can click here to go to registration details, and you can update that resume file so that the recruiters will be looking at your most recent resume. And that's here from this registration details icon. But let's go back to this event lobby. This is where on Friday, when it's time for the event to start at 10 a.m. Eastern, or excuse me, 11 a.m. Eastern time, you will log into eCareer Fairs and you'll click on this event lobby. And like I said, you can do that now because the event hasn't started yet, and yet I'm still seeing all of the booths in the lobby, and there's a lot of good information here to help me prepare for the event. First of all, just the basics, it shows me what companies are coming. And be sure that you notice there's 2 pages of booths. So don't just scroll through the first page of booths here and think you've hit all the companies. There's page 2 that you want to be sure to click on and view those companies as well. Not only can you see the company description here, and if I click view profile, it'll show me the whole description. Um, but also it lets me preview the booth. So I can preview each company's booth right now, today, and see what the booth is going to look like on Friday. And the other thing this tells me that's really good information is it shows me what recruiters at the company are going to be participating on Friday. So I can go down here. This enter conversation queue isn't live yet because the event obviously hasn't started yet. So you can't enter their conversation queue yet, but you can get a lot of information about them. I see their name, I see where they're located, what their job title is. And even though it doesn't give me their contact information, I encourage you to go ahead and find these recruiters on LinkedIn, invite them to join your LinkedIn network. You could do a search just by the company name and the recruiter's name, and let them know that you're going to be coming to the job fair and visiting their booth on Friday. So you can start making connections with these recruiters at the companies you're interested in, even before the event, just by going here to the preview and seeing what their booth is going to look like and seeing who's going to be attending from their company. Great information. Also, some recruiters put a greeting in their right under here, under their location, there will be a personal greeting that they put to job seekers. And that can often be good information. Sometimes a recruiter will say in their greeting, what kinds of jobs they're looking to try and fill or what skills they're looking for. So be sure and look to see if there's any greetings before you enter a conversation queue during the event. So that was previewing, and you can see each booth has a link to preview that booth and see what recruiters are coming. Also, almost all of the booths have a jobs icon. You can see here there's a jobs icon. Most of the attending companies have all of their jobs posted on Corporate Gray Online. So if you click on their jobs here, it's going to be a link that's going to, and if I click on this, you can see it takes me over to Corporate Gray. Now I'm on Corporate Gray and it's run a job search for me on that company so that I can search all of their jobs. So that is this jobs icon here on their booth. That actually will take you to Corporate Gray Online to run a job search and see that company's jobs posted. Also, sometimes companies, let me find an example. Sometimes companies will not only have the link to their jobs on Corporate Gray, like here you can see, here's the Co-Solutions link to all of their jobs on Corporate Gray, but they also posted some hot jobs directly to their booth. So if you see this, if you see a list of hot jobs under the jobs icon, you can click on the more and view these hot jobs that they posted. So there's two ways that recruiters can post their jobs. One is they might put them all on Corporate Gray Online, and you'll have that link here. And the other is they might have some hot jobs separately posted to their booth that you'll want to check those out either. And you can see both just by clicking this briefcase icon on their booth. So why is that good information ahead of the event? Because I encourage you to do your research on what the company's needs are. What are their job openings ahead of the event? Don't come to the event on Friday and meet with a recruiter and say, well, what have you got? What do you need? How could you use me? Come to the event on Friday already having done that research on the companies that you're interested in, so that when you meet with the recruiter on Friday, you're prepared to tell them exactly what jobs they have open that you're a good match for and why you're a match for those positions. And maybe even let them know if you've already applied to those jobs, let them know exactly which jobs their company has that you already applied for, and here's why I'm a good match. Your conversation with the recruiter is going to be so much more valuable than if you didn't do your research and you just come to the event and ask the recruiter, well, what do you need? So we definitely recommend you do your research on the company's jobs. And we try to help you do that research by having this jobs icon and having all of their jobs posted on corporate Gray Online. Another thing you might see in the lobby under each booth, if the recruiters have added any attachments to their booth, this might be a link to maybe their career affairs page or a video about working at the company, or it could be a document that they've attached. Maybe it's information about their job opportunities. So look for that as well and click on any of these attachment links because that is information that the recruiters who are coming to the event have added to their booth to give you more information to do your research ahead of time. So that's that documents link there. I think I've covered a lot of things that you can do on eCareer fairs just by going to the lobby early. And remember, you can do that today. So I also want to show you some things you can do on your Corporate Gray account to really help you prepare for the job fair. So if you go to corporategray.com, and let me do that now in my browser. Here I've gone to corporategray.com, and I'm going to log in with my job seeker account. Enter your username and password. This is different from your eCareer Fairs account, so make sure you keep them straight. And then go ahead and click login. And it lands you on your dashboard page. And I like that because right away then I can see the May 21st job fair. It'll show you the most recent job fair that you are registered to attend. And you can right away click view job fair right here. And it will take me to the job fairs page. And this job fairs page, this is where you registered. But come back here now because there's a lot of good information here in the list of attending employers that can help you with your research. You can see here, if I click on the link for their jobs, it's going to do just what I showed you from that briefcase icon on the eCareer Fairs site. If I click here, it's going to take me to run a search on that company's jobs. And once you run a search, and let's say there's 26 jobs, well, maybe you really want to hone in on what jobs you're most interested in, then you can go ahead and apply more filters. You can really filter this search so that it's more meaningful to you. For instance, let's say I do a search on Lockheed Martin's jobs. Well, they have over 3,000 jobs posted. So if I click on that, I'm not going to page through all of these jobs. I want to definitely apply some keywords like systems engineer. If you do a keyword that is a string of words together, you want to make sure you use quotes. You can also search on more than one keyword, but if you do, you need to use Boolean and or all in capital letters. So if you use and, like let's say systems engineer, maybe I want to find something that requires a CISSP or something like that. And then I can run the search. Now it still has search by Lockheed Martin jobs, and I can click search and it will narrow it down a little bit. And there's more filters you can apply too. I could look just for jobs in my state, for example, or just jobs that only need that require an associate's or higher. So there's other filters you can apply as well. Or if I just want to search all jobs, I can click on this, Find Jobs in the menu bar, and it will clear the search and let me just search all jobs on Corporate Gray, not by company name. So I want to show you one more thing about this attending employers list. Besides it helping you view and search each company's jobs on Corporate Gray, we also give you this LinkedIn network button for each company. And if you click on that, it does not take you to that company's LinkedIn page. it runs a people search to help you connect with people. So for example, if I click on the LinkedIn network for AR services, it's going to open up, and if I'm logged into LinkedIn, it will open up my LinkedIn account and run a people search on people that are in my network that work at AR services. So we've already done that link, found that link, and run that search for you, because we can't stress enough how important it is that you reach out to not just recruiters that work at AR services, but other people who are in your network that work at the company that you're interested in, and reach out to them. Or if they're not in your network, like this person's in my second degree network, so I can't message them, but I can invite them to connect with me. And so I would invite them to connect, and I'd add a note to that invitation, and let them know that, hey, I'm very interested in working at AR Services when I transition out of the military in a few months. Would like to know um, how you like working there, or if you have any good information that you can give me about the company. You can learn so much about a company by connecting with the employees that work there. So definitely reach out to your LinkedIn connections who work at the companies that you're interested in, and the companies that you're going to be meeting with on Friday, to really get some good insider information from them about the company before you come to meet with the recruiters.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you speak more about connecting with recruiters or people that already work at the company? Um, Especially like if they're not in the division that you want to work in. Say you want to work in the electronics with soldering, and they're like a systems analyst. Like, is it still worthwhile reaching out to them? And if so, how do you like bridge that gap as far as what to say to them?
Yeah, very good question. Definitely worth it to reach out to not only other recruiters, even if they're not in the section of the company that you're interested in, because they can, if you reach out to them, they can filter, they can send your resume to the right person at the company for you. Um, but don't just focus on connecting with recruiters at a company. When you're on LinkedIn, look for other people to connect with. And if you're transitioning from the military, look for people on LinkedIn that work at the company who used to be in the military. And you can do that by, so I'm getting a little off base here on the preparation. I actually do a LinkedIn workshop, and I'm going to be doing that next Tuesday, where it's a webinar 1 hour where I show you all of this. But since someone asked the question, let me just real quick tell you that if you click all filters, there's going to be a filter called past company, and it will let you search people that are work at AR Services that used to, let's say, have Army as a past company, or US Navy or Marine Corps. And so you can search for fellow veterans by using that past company filter. Current company would be the company that you're interested in working for, and then search by past company as well to really connect with fellow veterans who work at the company you're interested in now. And it doesn't really matter what part of the company they work in. You can still reach out to them and ask them about the company. They're going to have information still, and good insider information about the company, even if they don't know about this particular section of the company that you're interested in. But the best way to reach out to people, don't reach out to them asking them for a job. No pressure. You're just reaching out to them, asking them to join your LinkedIn network and letting them know that you're interested in working at that company. Do they have any advice for you? Or you'd love to hear how they like working there. So that's kind of a way to reach out, but um, you're not reaching out to ask for a job. You're just reaching out to get information about the company, to do your research and really be prepared to talk to the recruiters. And it might be that the recruiter that you talked to on Friday is not the person who's recruiting for the section that you're interested in or that you match well with, especially a big company like Lockheed or Leidos. They have thousands of jobs, and the chances of that recruiter being the correct point person, um, that's not probably going to happen. But that recruiter is the first point of contact for you to get information about the jobs and for them to send your resume to the right person at their company. So it's a great first step in getting put in the right direction for connecting with the right person at the company. So again, that was this LinkedIn network link. We definitely recommend you get on LinkedIn ahead of time. Um, and if you want to send me an email later, I'll give you information about my LinkedIn webinar as well, 1 hour webinar that really shows you a lot more detail what to put in your profile and how to really connect with people at these companies that you're interested in. Let me go back to my slides and let's keep going. I got off track a little bit, but that was a great question. Um, You are also have received an employer directory. It's a PDF, and you should have received it a few days ago. And that employer directory lists all of the companies, their description, and also if they gave us a hot job summary, that's in the employer directory as well. If you haven't received it, I believe it's going to be going out in an email today again. So if you haven't received the employer directory, you should get it today. If you don't, though, shoot me an email and I'll send it to you. Because this directory, it lists all the companies in one place that are going to be coming on Friday, and it really helps you do some of that preparation and that research ahead of time. Another thing you can do to prepare ahead is think about the questions that you want to ask the recruiters. So as you're doing your company research, you might think of a question that you have about a particular company. If so, write it down so that when you're chatting with that recruiter, you remember to ask that question. Also, prepare some answers to questions you're probably most likely going to be asked by the recruiters while you're text chatting with them. And if you prepare your answers ahead of time, like in a Word document or notepad, then you can, during the text chats, you can kind of copy and paste from those prepared answers. And it makes your text chat go a lot quicker that way, especially if you're a slow typer. It might be good to have, a Word document that you're copying and pasting from where you've already really clearly answered some of these questions and put it into nicely worded answers so that it'll just give you more confidence too. If you've prepared these questions and answers ahead of time, even if you don't want to copy and paste from them, you'll have them next to you, kind of a cheat sheet so that you really feel prepared for the text conversations that you're going to have with the recruiters. In that training guide that we sent you, it has this pre-event checklist that goes through everything I just covered, just so you can kind of have a little reminder. You'll find that in there in the before section. All these things that you can do on eCareer Fairs ahead of time and the things that you can do on Corporate Gray ahead of time. Plus preparing the questions and answers, all of those questions that just are sample questions that you might want to prepare answers to, those are all in that guide as well. So I know I'm going kind of fast with these slides, but just know you have all this information in that PDF guide. And I'm going to put, at the end, I'll put my email address in the chat box again, so that if you did not get any of these guides or the employer directory, you can shoot me an email and I'll send it to you. Okay, so during the event, I want to show you how the event works so you can see what these conversations are going to look like and how to manage your conversations. So first, you're going to log into your eCareer Affairs account because that's the platform where the event takes place on Friday. And just like I showed you, you're going to go to the My Career Affairs, or it's also called the My Events page. And then that icon that I showed you that takes you to the lobby. Only now, this is what the lobby is going to look like during the event. You can see it looks almost the same, and this is a screenshot of a previous event, so don't be confused by some of these companies that aren't coming this Friday. I just took some screenshots so I could show you what it looks like during the event. And really, the main difference is instead of the preview link here under each booth, instead of previewing the booth, which is what you can do now in the lobby, it shows you how many reps are currently in the booth. Like 2 out of 4 reps are currently active in the booth. And then you can click on that or click on the company name and it will take you into that booth during the event. And also, just a reminder up here, there's more than one page of booths, so make sure you go to all the pages during the event. Also, during the event, you're going to have this blue status bar at the bottom of your screen. And if you click on the corporate gray virtual military, those words there, it will always take you back to the lobby. So that bar down there is kind of a shortcut to always take you back to the lobby in case you get lost during the event. But also click on this arrow to expand the status bar. And that will expand it and give you some shortcuts to see what upcoming conversations. This is where you can see what conversation cues you're waiting in line for. And also make sure you check this when you very first log in on Friday, because if you've gotten any invites from recruiters, it will show up here. Now, if this number is 0, don't worry. A lot of recruiters don't take advantage of the functionality where they can invite a candidate to talk with them. So if that's 0, don't be discouraged. But you want to check it. And if it's not 0, you want to click on the number and it's going to show you what invitations you have from recruiters. And the reason it's important to accept those, and you can see here it tells you what to do. The thumbs up is how you can accept that invitation. As soon as I accept this invitation that I received from an Edward Jones recruiter, again, this is from a past event, but when I accept it, I'm automatically put into that recruiter's conversation queue. I'm automatically put in line to talk with them. I don't have to go to the booth and enter their queue. And the other thing it does is it shows that recruiter when it puts me in their conversation queue, it shows them that I'm someone they invited. So they might start the conversation with me sooner that way. So you definitely want to check and see when you log in on Friday to the event. See if you have any invites from representatives here. And if you do, then go ahead and make sure you accept those right away so that you get in those recruiters' queues. And I'll show you what I'm talking about with the queue. If you don't see these icons down here, it just depends on the browser you're using. You might have to hover over the this more icon, and then you'll see those thumbs up and thumbs down icons. Okay, so I'm back in the lobby now, and I can click on a company's name, and it will take me to their booth. And now you can see the booth looks just the same as the preview, except now it's going to show me how many people are already waiting in line for these recruiters, and each recruiter has their own conversation queue. I don't just get in line in the booth and get randomly matched up with a recruiter. I actually choose which of these recruiters in the booth I want to wait in line to talk to. So so I could either choose because maybe pick the one that has the shortest waiting time, Or I could look at their greetings, and here you can see from the greetings, sometimes you can tell, like this recruiter put in their greeting that they're looking for these skill sets, IT specialist, network engineer, etc. So if that applies to me, then I know that this is the conversation queue I'd like to enter. We ask that you only enter one conversation queue per booth because there's a lot more job seekers than there are recruiters. So choose a conversation queue and just click enter conversation queue. And it will then put you in the waiting queue for that recruiter. And it does not start the conversation right away. It puts you in their queue. And when they're ready to start the conversation with you, then they initiate the conversation. Also in the booths, you'll notice that there's this general questions dialog box. That is visible to anyone. This is not a one-on-one chat with the recruiters. This is just a general dialog box that's going to be in every booth where you can ask a general question to the recruiters in the booth, and one of them will hopefully answer your question when they're not busy talking with a candidate. So make sure if you type a question in here for the recruiters, you keep it general. This is not some place where you should ask something that is something you should save for your one-on-one conversation. This is just a general question you might have about the company that you can type in here, and anyone coming to the booth can see these questions and answers. Make sure to, before you ask a question here, scroll through the questions that have already been asked and answered, just to make sure that they haven't already addressed that question and there's an answer for it. That'll save those recruiters some time. And all you do to type in a general question is just type it in this box. And if you notice, all of the text box where you can type will have this little grayed out bottom corner. That is, if you want to see more of what you're typing, you can click on that bottom corner and drag it down, and it will make that text box larger. And then you just click send, and it will show up in the dialog box. Okay, so let's say I entered a conversation queue with one of those SAIC recruiters. Now I can go back to the lobby, I can go to another booth, and I can get in another recruiter's conversation queue. You can get in as many conversation queues as you want. And when a recruiter is ready, they see you in their queue and they're ready to start the conversation with you, then you'll get this pop-up box on the screen. It will let you know that, hey, this recruiter has just started the conversation with you, and you click go to conversation. It will also give you an audible ping if you have your speakers up. So make sure you turn the volume on your speakers up. That way, if you're not looking at your screen at the time, you're pinged and you know that a conversation has just been started with you. And you can only be in one conversation with a recruiter at a time. But while you're in a conversation with a recruiter, your place is being held in the other conversation queues where you're waiting in line. So don't worry about losing your place in another line while you're talking with someone else, because the other recruiter will see that you're currently unavailable, but they can go back to you and your place will be held in their conversation queue. And then when you're available again, they'll be able to start the conversation with you. So the system manages all of that for you. So now I'm in a conversation. This is me over here. I'm in a conversation with an SAIC recruiter. This is what the text conversation looks like. And over here to the right, it shows me what the recruiter sees about me. So this is kind of nice. I can see that the recruiter sees my profile on eCareer Affairs, and they're viewing my resume as well while they talk with me, and they can see my photo. And then over here on the right side, it shows me who I'm talking to. And then down here is the actual dialog box. So this is where once you enter the conversation, you can see how much time is remaining. They used to be set to 20 minutes in length, but now they're set to 10 minutes. We found that that was too much time. Um, and it really didn't need that much time. So the conversation that you have with the recruiter is going to start at 10 minutes in length, and you'll be able to see how much time is remaining. And while you're talking with the recruiter, if they want to extend the time and talk with you longer, they can do that. And then all you do is type your whatever you'd like to say to that recruiter here. And if they've already said something to you, you'll see it up here. And you just click send, and it'll put it in the dialog box. And this is where you'll see the conversation take place between you and the recruiter. And again, the recruiter does have the ability to change it to a text, to change it from a text chat to a video chat. But chances are most of the recruiters, I would say, keep it as a text chat because they can get through more that way. They can meet with more people. But it is possible that they'll ask you if they can change it to a video chat while you're text chatting. It will always start this way, though. It will always start as a text chat first. Then before you end the conversation, and you'll have this end now button, and so will they. So you can end the conversation or they can end the conversation. Um, but before you or they end your conversation, ask them for their email address so that you can properly follow up with them after the event. Sometimes they'll give you their email, sometimes they won't, but it doesn't hurt to ask. So try to remember to ask them for that. And then once the conversation has been ended, either by you or them, it will, these buttons will show that ask you if you want to go back to the lobby or back to that booth. And then you just repeat. You can go to visit more booths, enter more conversation queues, wait in as many lines as you'd like. And when those conversations are started by the recruiter, you'll get that ping and it just starts over again. Also, if you don't have time for a conversation, or let's say it's toward the end of the event goes from 11 a.m. Eastern time to 2 p.m. Eastern time. So let's say there's only about a half hour left in the event, but you come to a really busy booth and you can see that the wait time is super long. Well, first of all, I recommend, even if the wait time is longer than the event is taking place, go ahead and enter a conversation queue anyway, because at 2 p.m. Eastern, when the event ends, the recruiters are not, everybody is not just bumped off of the event. It's over at 2 and you can't enter any more conversation queues after that point. But if you're already waiting in line at 2 p.m., as long as the recruiter hangs around, they can start the conversation with you after 2 o'clock. So we don't just shut down the event at 2. If you're still in line and the recruiter can still have time to have conversations, they will hang around and continue going through their waiting line and talking to job seekers. But if you have to go, you can also just leave your resume and a note with the recruiters at that booth. And they won't see that until after the event. But just wanted you to know you'll have this link at the bottom of each booth that lets you leave your resume and a note. That event status bar that I mentioned, a lot of good information there. Make sure you check for invitations as soon as you log into the event, the morning of the event, and accept any invitations. And then you can also see the time that's remaining. And it also has the leave event link. You don't want to just close your browser. If you just close your browser, that just it doesn't make you actually leave the event, and it doesn't take you out of the conversation queues. You have to have closed your browser for over an hour before it actually removes you from any queues you're waiting in. So that's a good thing, because let's say you accidentally close your browser, you can just open it back up, and you're right back where you started. You're still in all of those waiting lines. To actually leave the event and get removed from any remaining queues, you have to click that leave event link. And that's like the official way to leave the event. Also, during the event, there's going to be this event support link. And that, if you click on that, like if you're having some technical difficulty with the eCareerFairs platform, you can click on that, and that will open up a text chat between you and the eCareerFairs support staff so that they can help you with any trouble you're having. If you just have a question about the event or about your job search, you can come to the corporate grade booth. We're going to have a booth that we're manning during the event, and we'll be there to answer your questions as well. Okay, a few things I want to say about what to do after the event. So let me just show you where these are. I showed you that chat bubble where that is where you can see your interview history and all of the text conversations that you had. You don't have to keep notes about what was said by the recruiter because you'll have the transcripts of everything that the recruiter typed to you in a text chat. And you can access those from this icon. If you don't see those icons down below, again, they're going to be, hidden here, and you'll see that same icon there. And this is on your My Events page. And then you'll be able to go look at that chat, and it will actually show you everything that you chatted with that recruiter. Also recommend you follow up with recruiters. If you got their email address, great. Send them a thank you email. It was so nice to meet with you at the event. Maybe they told you about some positions that you didn't know about. Then first go find those positions, apply to them, then follow up with the recruiter and say, thank you for letting me know about that job. I've applied to it. Here's my revised resume. You definitely want to be tailoring your resume to each job. So maybe following up with an email to the recruiter is a great way to give them your newly tailored resume rather than like the generic one that you shared during the event. Also, reach out to the recruiters on LinkedIn, but not just the recruiters that you met with. Reach out to others in your network. They don't have to be a recruiter at the company in order to be a great resource for you for learning about the company and learning about the hidden job market that might be at that company, those jobs that haven't been posted yet. But employees at the company know that those jobs are coming down the pike and they can give you information about that. And also, it just puts you on their radar as well if you reach out to these people on LinkedIn. And we had some questions. I ran over time a little bit. Sorry about that. I appreciate you sticking with me. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I'm going to put my email address in the chat box again just to make sure everybody saw it. Feel free to email me your questions as well. Let me see if there's anything in the chat box I didn't answer. So the best way to find out which jobs you qualify for, I would say, is first go to your Corporate Gray Online account. And when you log into your Corporate Gray Online, click the Find Jobs and put in some keywords of what, like I did with systems engineer, for example. Let's say I'm a systems engineer. I can put in systems engineer and I can run a search. And this box here will make it so the search only searches for the companies that are coming to this week's event. So I can search here and it's going to show me any jobs on Corporate Gray that have systems engineer. Wow, there's a lot of them. So you definitely are going to want to apply more filters. Let's say I live in Virginia, so I might want to filter it just by the state that I live in. So I click Virginia here and run the search again. And it's still a lot of jobs. So I could apply more filters or add more keywords to my search. And then you can really hone in on jobs that you are interested in and that apply to the skills that you have. So I would say that's the best way to really find the jobs ahead of time that you qualify for. I think, um, is the event going to be both audio and video? It will be text chatting. And if the recruiter chooses, they have the ability to change it to a video chat where you'll have audio and video and you'll be talking and seeing the recruiter. Um, but all of the conversations begin as a text chat. And then if the recruiter chooses to, they'll change it to a video while they're talking with you. And I think I covered all the questions, but if you have another question, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. But I will stay on a few more minutes. And I just want to thank everyone for your time today. And thank you for spending this time to prepare for the event ahead of time, because that is so valuable. And we really appreciate that you are doing that and really preparing for the event. It's going to make it go so much better for you. So that gets me really excited. And I wish everyone the best for your job search.